Okay, so if you're wondering why I have a haircut in this video and not in the next video, well, that's because I recorded the next video the night before I got my haircut, which was the day before I started recording this video. Wrap your head around that. So, because Sonic 2 was a massive success, Sega decided that, hey, we have a successful franchise under our belts. So, in 1993, Sega was going big or go home, with stuff like spin-off games like Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine or Sonic Spinball, and they even had 2 cartoons based on Sonic come out that exact same year. Those being The Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, which was a more kid-friendly cartoon. One of the most interesting things about it, however, was that it introduced the whole thing with Eggman having idiot robot sidekicks to him. I'm of course talking about Scratch and Grounder. These were the predecessors to characters such as Deco, Boko, and Bokun from Sonic X, and of course Orbot and Cubot in the modern games. But there was another cartoon that was playing around the same time, that being Sonic SatAM. Yes, I know that name is stupid, but still. It was a more serious show about Sonic and a group of freedom fighters trying to save the world from Dr. Robotnik, who had taken over it. So imagine Sonic Forces, except actually good! But even with these successes that were happening in 1993, there was one thing that almost ruined all of it. A tragedy, if you will, that was not only one of the worst things to happen to the Sonic the Hedgehog series, but one of the worst things to happen to Sega as a company. I'm of course talking about the tragedy of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in 1993. There was a Sonic the Hedgehog parade float, and as it was going through the city, it was unfortunately destroyed and ruined forever. May we all take a moment of silence in remembering the Sonic the Hedgehog parade float. Oh, and Sega also made the Sega CD, which was an add-on for the Sega Genesis, and it sold like crap, with only having one game that was worth buying. I'm of course talking about Sonic the Hedgehog CD, or as it's more commonly called, just Sonic CD. Though, in case you don't remember, in my last review, I did state that while Sega of America was making Sonic 2, Sega of Japan was making their own sequel to Sonic 1, that of course is Sonic CD. But for this review, I'm taking a look at the Christian Whitehead version of this game, because of the fact that, well, it's kind of like the Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. It's just the perfect version to play the game on, and yeah, everyone should just play the remastered version made by Christian Whitehead that was made in 2011. So with that being said, is Sonic CD as good as the last 2 games, or is it the first blunder that Sonic had, and is continuing to happen to this day? Let's find out. In terms of story, Sonic CD starts off with an animated cutscene, and I must say, this animated cutscene looks amazing, even to this very day. Seriously, this is just plain beautiful. The colors are great, and the way they capture Sonic's speed is just perfect. And fun fact, this was made by Toei Animation. You know, the same people who have done work such as Dragon Ball and One Piece. So you know this is going to be good, and it's still great to this day. Though I'll fully admit, as a kid, I got confused with this and the Sonic OVA a lot, due to how similar they looked, and also the fact that they both have Metal Sonic, so yeah. But anywho, Sonic goes to visit this place because he wants to find Little Planet, a planet that only pops up at the last month of every year, but when he gets there, he finds out that it's been changed to the Earth by Dr. Robotnik, who wants to use Little Planet in order to find the Time Stones, so he can travel back in time and build his robot army in the past, so that way in the future, he can rule over the world. You know what, Dr. Robotnik, that's actually a pretty smart plan of yours. But judging by the boss fights, this was probably the only good idea you had in this game story. Well, other than another thing, but we'll get to that very soon. During this adventure, Sonic encounters 2 new characters, the first of which being Amy Rose, a pink hedgehog who is obsessed with Sonic and would do anything to marry him. And also, in the American manual, he is mistakenly called Princess Sally from the Sonic SatAM cartoon. Okay, how the hell do you mix up a pink hedgehog who wears clothing to a chipmunk who does not wear clothing? Seriously, guys, it's not that hard to figure out which is which. But anyway, in Collision Chaos, which is the second level of the game, Amy gets kidnapped by Metal Sonic, a robot made by Eggman to be Sonic's perfect rival, who can counter Sonic in any way, shape, or form. And yeah, so while Sonic is trying to stop Dr. Robotnik's evil plan, he also has to save Amy from Metal Sonic. I like this because it actually adds a lot more world building by these two characters. So yeah, I really like their additions to the game. In terms of their designs, I really like them. With Amy, I do prefer her modern design a lot more, but I don't know, I still do like her classic design because it's kind of cute. And also, fun fact, in Sonic the Fighters, she's named Rosie the Rascal. That's kind of adorable. And I really like the art with her and Sonic where she's trying to be all lovey-dovey while Sonic's just looking away. It's kind of funny. Whereas with Metal Sonic's design, I love it because it's a perfect contrast to Sonic. Whereas with Sonic's design, you can perfectly understand that he's a carefree guy who stands for justice and peace. Whereas with Metal Sonic, he's easily just so intimidating and threatening with his red eyes that are just a death stare. It's perfect, and it really does a great job. But before we continue, I do have to answer this one question. Where does this game take place in the timeline? Does it take place before Sonic 2 or after Sonic 2? Well, for one, this cannot take place in an alternate timeline because of the fact that, for one, they do reference the events of this game in future titles, such as in Sonic Adventure, where in Amy's story in her first cutscene, she references what happened in this game, and in Sonic Heroes, this game is the reason why Metal Sonic is the main villain of Sonic Heroes. Oh, spoilers. But I'd say this game does take place before Sonic 2, mainly because of the fact that, for one, this can't take place immediately after Sonic 2 because of the fact that Sonic 3 and Knuckles takes place immediately after Sonic 2. So, yeah, I'm going to say this game takes place before Sonic 2 and leave it at that. Now, in terms of graphics and music, this game looks great. Sure, I know this game was remade on Christian Whitehead's own engine, the Retro engine, but still, the graphics look great in this game. All the colors pop out nicely, all the stages look great, and one of my favorite details of this game is that it shows one of the major themes of the Sonic series through the visuals alone. Let me show you. In the past versions of the levels, everything looks calm and peaceful, and it looks very filled with life on the planet. But in the bad future of every zone, when it looks dead inside, how it's been polluted by Dr. Robotnik's machines. And it shows the main theme of the Sonic series. Well, one of the main themes at least. The theme of nature versus machine. And how Sonic represents nature and Dr. Eggman represents machines. It's beautiful how they convey this message through the visuals alone, and I absolutely adore it. In terms of music, well, here's a fun piece of trivia for you guys. Each region had their own separate versions of the soundtrack. Japanese having their own version, while Americans had their own. And if I'm going to be honest, which version I prefer the Japanese soundtrack, if I'm being honest. Don't get me wrong, the American version is great, but I just prefer the Japanese theme alone, with my personal favorite being Bad Future from Stardust Speedway. But that's not to say that the American version has some bad tunes. Oh no, they have some great ones, with my personal favorite being Sonic Boom. No, we don't talk about that Sonic Boom. Get that out of my face. In fact, get it out of this video right now, Andrew. Thank you. I'm talking about the main theme in terms of the English version of this game that plays during the opening cutscene. I love it. In fact, I even prefer it over the Japanese opening cutscene theme. So, yeah, play it real quick, but make sure don't play it too much or else we get copyrighted. But one thing I do like in the Japanese version is the theme Cosmic Eternity. It's just great, and play it real quick. Now, there are some extras I want to show off real quick before we talk about the gameplay. Now, there are 5 extra images, so we're going to go through them real quick. Starting off with, oh my god, why does Sonic look like a predecessor to Sonic Man from Sonic 06? It looks hideous. Aww, look at Tails, he's driving a car. Wait, see you in the next game? Is that a reference to Sonic Drift? Who knows. Now, time to show off my personal favorite. Mix Sonic. Oh, I'm sorry, MC Sonic. I just love this because of the fact that it just looks so much fun seeing Sonic being a DJ. I would totally play a game where Sonic is a DJ, not gonna lie. And here's an image of cute chibi Sonic. He looks so adorable. Okay, I've saved the best for last. The one you probably all know. But we need the appropriate music, so let's play that music real quick. Oh my god, this looks horrifying! This is worse than this looks worse than the freaking original Sonic movie design. It looks horrifying. What'd they do to you, Sonic? They massacred you. Oh god. Oh god. Let's just move on. Let's just move on to the next section real quick before my eyes bleed. Alright, we finally get to talk about the gameplay in this video game. And we're almost 10 minutes into the video. Oh dear god, I'm scared for the future games.
You're not the only one, Sean.
But anywho, Sonic controls just as well as he did in the past 2 games. I barely had any issues controlling him. He stopped on a dime really good. His speed was great. His platforming was great. Honestly, Sonic controls just as well as the past 2 games, so no complaints there. His spin dash returns, and it's just as good as it was in Sonic 2, but apparently in Sonic CD, the original version, it sucked. But thankfully in the remastered version, they fixed it. And Sonic has a new ability this time around, the Super Peel Out. Instead of pressing down, you press up, and Sonic will go into a figure 8 pose, and after revving up, it will go as fast as a bullet. I'll admit, I barely use this ability, mainly because of the fact that it does have one big disadvantage to it, unlike the spin dash. You see, with the spin dash, when you run to an enemy, it will destroy it, whereas if you run to an enemy with a super peel out, you'll take damage, which, yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm sticking to the spin dash. It's a lot more easier to do, and when I run to an enemy, I'll destroy it rather than getting hit by it. It's a lot safer, you know? And if I'm going to be honest, I only use that at the start of the game, in Palm Tree Panic, and during the Metal Sonic boss fight. So, sorry, Super Peel Out, you're just not as good as the spin dash. Also, this game has 4 different ways to play a level, those being in the past, present, and good and bad futures. I like this because it gives replay value to the game, and it makes you want to try and find out what happens in all these different versions of the level, and makes you want to go through them. I like this because, again, it gives replay value to this game. Now, you're probably wondering, how do you access the past and the future of the levels? Well, it's very simple, my friends. In each level, there are posts that will say past or future. By going through one of them, and you have to reach 88 miles an hour in order for Sonic to go back into the past, or
to the future!
I'm sorry, guys. I couldn't resist that reference. It was just too good for me to pass up, you know? But anywho, the whole point of traveling back to the past is to find the robot generators in both Act 1 and Act 2, destroy it, and then in Act 3, you'll have the good future for that zone. Yes, much like Sonic 1, there are 3 acts to every zone in the game, with the first 2 being levels, and the final one being a boss fight level. But I do have one problem with the signposts. Those being the future ones, because if you run past it and go 88 miles an hour in order to travel back to the future, you'll be in the bad future of that level, and while yes, you can go back to the past, it just becomes annoying after a while since there are no robot generators in the future. So, yeah, it's kind of annoying, but there is an easier solution to getting the good ending for this game. All you need to do is collect 50 rings, and head to the end of the level, and you'll see a giant ring, much like Sonic 1, and if you played Sonic 1, you gotta jump into that bad boy, and you'll be in the special stages. In terms of special stages so far in this retrospective, these are the best special stages yet. Sonic is in 3D, and he controls very, very well. The whole objective is to jump into 6 UFOs in order to get the time stones. But you need to watch out for your time, because if you reach 0, you fail a special stage. And also, you need to stay clear of water, because that will just take off a lot of time, so be careful. But whenever you reach 20 seconds or less, a blue one will appear that has a red marking on it, sort of like a med kit, and if you jump into that, it'll give you 30 more seconds. Once all the 7 time stones are collected, you instantly get the good ending of the game, and you get good futures for every remaining zone in the game. But since they're time stones and not Chaos Emeralds, you don't get Supersonic, I'm sorry guys. In terms of boss fights, much like the first 2 games, these bosses are pretty easy. For example, the first one, all you need to do is just go to the far left of the screen, and you pretty much just win the boss from there. Other examples include Title Tempest's boss fight, which is a mixture of Labyrinth Zone's boss and Metropolis boss. For example, with Labyrinth Zone type boss, you're about chasing Robotnik through the water, and with the Metropolis boss, you have to hit Dr. Robotnik as he has a shield up. And what is this shield, you might ask? A shield filled with water bubbles that give you air underwater.
Wow, this is just lame.
The only time I had a problem with the boss fights in this game was in Collision Chaos, but it wasn't because of the boss itself, it's because of how to get there, mainly with the flippers you have to use in order to get to the boss fight. But I do like some of the ideas I try to go for with this. Like, for example, in Quartz Quadrant, I like how you have to be on a moving conveyor belt, and it's all about gaining enough speed for it to destroy itself. And that's actually a pretty cool concept. I like how in Wacky Workbench's case, it's all about jumping from platform to platform in order to hit Robotnik. I like that because, again, this is a game about platforming, so I like that. The only boss that is really interesting to talk about is the Metal Sonic fight, but we'll get to that one in a bit, don't you worry. As for the final boss, it's also pretty easy. You have rings this time around, unlike the first 2 games, and while you'll get hit while trying to bounce into Robotnik, it's not that really hard of a boss fight, if I must say. Alright, time to talk about the levels in this game, starting off with Palm Tree Panic. Think of it as a more updated Green Hill Zone, but even so, it's a pretty fun starting level. A lot of different pathways, a lot of speed, and I don't mind playing through this stage, it's really fun. And fun fact, at the end of the zone, you will run into Amy Rose, who will just walk up and give Sonic a hug, and even heart bubbles will appear. Okay, that's kinda cute. Then is Collision Chaos, a zone that is completely pink. What, is it supposed to represent Amy? Because she gets captured in this zone? I don't know, but anywho, once again, this is the zone where Amy gets captured by Metal Sonic, and this is where you begin trying to save Amy Rose. Now, I don't mind this zone, but chaos is appropriate, seeing how, because of these springs everywhere, you'll go up and down all around, and because of that, it caused me to get lost a few times. And also, it introduces a brand new enemy known as the Robot Mantis. Think of it as the Slicer's cousin, except less annoying, but still pretty annoying. Next up is Tidal Tempest. Think of it as Labyrinth Zone, except actually fun to play through. Yes, I don't mind this level in this game. Sure, it's not great, but I don't know, I think it's fun. And besides, the water sections don't get annoying since you have plenty of opportunity to get to an air bubble, and yeah, I just think it's a fun zone. Next up is Quartz Quadrant. This is a mining level, apparently, with a lot of conveyor belts, which is kind of cool. Though, this is just me, but I think something they could have done with the conveyor belts is having these switches that go backwards, you know what I mean? I do think they do that in this game, but I don't know, whenever I go to this zone, all it is just moving forward with the conveyor belts. They never take me back. I don't know, that would have been kind of cool. But anyway, next up is Wacky Workbench. Wacky is correct, seeing how you'll be bouncing 90% in the zone, and because of that, you can get hit by electric shockers that happen, and you can also get frozen in this zone. Gee, isn't that just fun? But it's an alright zone, I don't mind it, and besides, the music here is pretty cool. Anyway, next up is Stardust Speedway, easily the most recognizable zone in this game, mainly because of one thing, the battle with Metal Sonic. Before we do, let me talk about the zone real quick. It's a fast, fun zone that I can't get enough of. I genuinely like this stage, and I just have such a blast playing through it. But anyway, on to the race with Metal Sonic. Now, here's something I find kind of funny. So, while you're racing with Metal Sonic, Dr. Robotnik will be chasing after you with an instant kill laser that even if you have rings, you'll get killed by it. So, why doesn't he just use that from the start? I'm just saying, Robotnik, if you have a laser that can kill Sonic even with rings, you should use it just more than once. But, anywho, now, one thing I do like about this boss is how it's more of a race than an actual fight. But I would have preferred if you were allowed to hit Metal Sonic, much like how they fixed this in Sonic Generations. But, anywho, now, one thing I actually do use while in this fight is that, you know how there are spikes in this boss? Well, Metal Sonic can use his, jet turbine to charge up, and he will actually destroy the spikes for you. So, because of that, you don't have to deal with the spikes, so that's pretty cool. But anyway, when you get to the finish line, Metal Sonic will be destroyed by crashing into a wall. You couldn't just stop. And Metal Sonic will also be destroyed by the instant kill laser. Once that's done, you save Amy Rose from Metal Sonic. On to the final zone of the game, Metallic Madness. And unlike the previous two final zones, this is an actual level instead of just being a boss room. So I like that, and the zone in general is pretty fun. It does remind me a little bit of Scrap Brain Zone, but seeing how I like that zone, I like this zone as well. Though, let's talk about the most memorable part about this zone, Mini Sonic. Even though I only play it for one section, it's so cute and I love it. Though, I'll admit, I did get lost in circles during this part due to the fact that everything looks the same. So, yeah, I went around in circles until I realized I just had to go to the other side and I would be able to press on with the zone. So, that was pretty dumb of me. But I am glad they brought back Mini Sonic in Sonic Mania when they reused Metallic Madness. It was really nice. After defeating Robotnik one last time, you get the good or bad ending depending on whether or not you got all the 7 time stones or got all the robot generators destroyed. And both of these are animated by Toei, which is always nice. And they both have the same scenario of Sonic escaping with Amy from Robotnik's destroying fortress as they land safely on Earth. And I like how Sonic just gently places Amy down before leaving. It's charming. In the bad ending, we see Robotnik with a time stone about to leave, but Sonic grabs a rock, spin dashes, and chucks it at him, causing a huge explosion with a Robotnik cloud. But after the credits roll, we see that Little Planet comes back to Earth, telling the player to try again. So, while this ending is very funny, it does end on a bit of a sour note. But that's why we have the good ending after all, where we see Sonic watching as Little Planet is no longer chained to the planet and leaves Earth, but gives Sonic a thank you letter for helping him. And after the credits roll, which, might I add, I like how in the credits we have animated cutscenes of some of the levels, and we even have a little bit of the Metal Sonic race, which is really cool. Then we see Plant Life coming back to Little Planet with a message saying, "You're too cool." That's really nice. Though, before the conclusion, there are 2 more things I'd like to bring up real quick. The first of which being, this is the first Sonic game where Sonic has a voice in it. That being Masato Nishimura, who was the guy who made that creepy image of Sonic. Dear God, let's get that image out of my head. But was also a designer for this game and for Sega. Now, he doesn't really have that many voice clips. Most of them are just, yeah, which we'll play real quick.
Yes! Yeah! Alright! I'm out of here!
But still, he's fine. I just thought I would bring it up because, well, this is the first main series Sonic game where Sonic technically has a voice. So, yeah, sorry Sonic Adventure. The final thing I want to bring up real quick is that there were 3 cut levels from Sonic CD, the first of which being R2. No, not that R2, though that would be pretty cool. I'm talking about the zone that was cut from the original version of Sonic CD that Christian Whitehead was actually given a spreadsheet of some of the stuff that would happen in the zone. First of all, the antlion enemy actually appears in the credits in Sonic CD when they're going from level to level. So it seems that Toei Animation worked on it before it got cut from the final game. Makes sense. And I do like the whole concept of an boss fight where Robotnik is on a motorcycle. That's pretty cool. As for the other two, those being Desert Dazzle and Final Fever, they got cut because Sega wanted a more faithful remastered of this game. With Desert Dazzle, it would later go on to become Mirage Saloon in Sonic Mania, whereas with Final Fever, interesting enough, this was going to be the brand new final zone of the game once you collected all the 7 time stones. But it is unfortunate that these zones got cut. I'm pretty sure they would have been great. But seeing how Mirage Saloon is my favorite new zone in Sonic Mania, that just goes to show how much fun Desert Dazzle would have been. Now it's on to the final thoughts. So, that was Sonic CD, and it's great. I think this game still holds up, and while yes, I am using the Christian Whitehead version of this game, seeing how the Christian Whitehead version turns 10 years old this year, wow, I feel old. But anywho, seeing how it turns 10 years old this year, I think this version still holds up, and I would highly recommend you go out and play it. I mean, it is on mobile devices for free, and on other stuff like PS Now and Xbox Live, but still, I would highly recommend you go out and play this version, because it's really good. But if I were to rank it with the previous 2 games, I would put it on the same level as the first Sonic game. So that's why it gets the score of an 8.5 out of 10. It's really good. Now, join me all in the next video as we take a look at the masterpiece known as Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles. Okay, yes, I know this is the Sonic Mega Collection Plus, but this was how I played Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and seeing how I don't own a physical copy of that game, this is the best I got, so get off my back, dude. Wait, what? Okay, so according to this text on the screen, WandaVision finished airing its final episode, and seeing how I have that video recorded, I have to have that video be the next one I upload after this video. So that means before I talk about this epic masterpiece of a video game, I have to talk about WandaVision. Damn!